Hello and welcome to this new episode of the podcast. I am joined by my brother again and co-host Ben BB,
Hello.
and I am Deep Raccoon. So last episode was a kind of special one because we dedicated it fully to E3. So we thought we'd make a proper pilot and dedicate more time to introducing ourselves and talking a bit more about ourselves.
Yeah.
So I guess, yep. So we'll start by just talking about like our studies and what we're doing, and a bit of our like inspirations in terms of games and so on. So I'll let you start, Ben BB.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Well, we already touched a little bit on this in the last one, but here we're gonna go a little bit more in depth. So, yeah, I just finished a degree, bachelor degree in programming, computer science for games. At the university that's called DigiPen. You can look it up. And during that course, I had the chance to make a few games with teams, and one that has been released on Steam a few days ago. Well, a few weeks ago, I think.
Yeah, a few weeks ago.
Very recently, and yeah, it's called Mirror Above the Sun. You can check it out. But keep in mind, it's a student game. It lasts like half an hour or something like that. It's not long at all, and it has some bugs and stuff. But overall, we're still pretty happy about it. Yeah, I've worked with other programmers and artists to make that game, and Unreal Engine 4.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I had fun and I learned a lot.
Yeah, the game is pretty decent. It's like I said, a bit short maybe. More of a bit shorter than maybe you would expect from a typical game, but it is like a student project, and yeah, it's still pretty nice, still very varied in gameplay and so on.
So yeah, I don't want to be too long talking about that game, but just we made it over less than a year, and we were having exams and we had to study.
Yeah, you
other
weren't
subjects
working
as well,
on it full time, of course.
Yeah, we weren't working on it full time.
Yeah. So before we continue, we forgot to mention that from now on we'll actually be playing a game at the same time as we're recording the podcast. So we thought it'd be interesting to just quickly mention what games we're playing and why, I guess. So the idea would be that we'll be playing games that do not require too much attention.
Yep.
So yeah, so today I will be playing Trackmania through the normal spring maps, I guess.
Me too, yeah. Something relaxing, so and nothing competitive or anything like that. Just enjoying the tracks. And
yeah, I don't expect to get very good performance since, well, I'm mostly focused on talking and not on the gameplay itself. Mostly just relaxing and chill. So
and
yeah, so
that
also
it's a perfect game.
What? Sorry.
For that, it's a very good game. For relaxing,
it's very nice. Yeah.
You said.
So yeah, like you mentioned that you did the game development course, but you also did engineering, which had you I guess finished it and then moved into gameplay.
Yeah, but so before this programming degree, I did also a bachelor degree in mechanical engineering. But that wasn't really my thing. Like I struggled a lot through the degree, and I didn't like it that much. Like I wasn't driven. I mean, I had people around me that were really into cars and stuff like that, and they were very passionate about that. Yeah, but that was not at all my case. So like, yeah, at some point once I finished the degree. Because during the time you're in the degree, you are struggling and stuff, and then
you're focused on the degree and not much.
You're focused on passing the subject. It's hard enough as it is, and then you say you've got this reasoning. Well, maybe I don't like this, but then you say, well, maybe that's because I'm struggling that I don't like it. But after that, I worked like I had an internship for like 4 months in a company, and the people were really nice. But I didn't quite enjoy my work there, and like after that, I was rethinking what I wanted to do in my life. And since I was already doing some like small projects in Unity and stuff like that, I said, well, I'm doing it for fun,
Yeah,
my
why
free
not try
time.
to
Why
make
not
it
do
your
it?
job, right?
Yeah, that was the reasoning, right?
Yeah.
And before going to the university, I actually wanted to just jump directly um, to the professional world. I had a contact with a guy that had a very small indie company and
Yeah, I forgot
wanted to
about
hire
that.
me.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, he didn't want to, like, he was not going to pay me a salary, but I would be learning, right? So his reasoning was, I'm not gonna pay you, but going to university is very expensive. So here you're gonna learn without paying, and you're just like providing work for me at the same time, which seemed like a decent deal for me, right? But in the end, like, yeah, mostly your mother, she wasn't too much into that thing, like going into a job without having a degree related to it, and then maybe no recognition and stuff like that. So in the end, I didn't accept it, and
Yeah, especially because like
went to uni.
the game itself was not going so well either.
No.
So we
But,
were
well,
also
I didn't
having
know
doubts
that
if
at that
it was
point.
gonna. But we
And-
were
and-
already kind of having doubts if it was gonna
Yeah, but
like,
at the
be
same
so
time,
good for the portfolio type thing.
it didn't bother me that much because I was saying, yeah, okay, even if the game fails, maybe I would have worked like 1 year or 1.5 years on that gaming company,
Yeah.
and then I could put that on my curriculum, right? And that would be already something more than
It's always
nothing,
something,
right?
for sure. Yeah.
And it is possible that right now I would have already like proven myself in the professional environment, and I would have a decent job, right?
Potentially, of course. Yeah. It's always hard to predict anything. I would.
Yeah, it's impossible to say what would have happened, right? But I think that for sure I wouldn't get the technical background I've got now, because my university was really focused on like the most technical aspects, like making game engines and stuff from scratch.
For sure.
I'm sure that I wouldn't have that background right now if I didn't go to university, but I would have maybe like a good background for like a gameplay programmer or something like that.
You might have jumped from job to job and potentially slowly
for a
improve
while,
from there, but I doubt you would have gotten like a good position like very early or whatever. So it would have maybe taken longer.
Well, but I mean, it took 4 years to do the degree.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, fair enough.
So in 4 years, maybe I would have like a few jobs that like they were a bit crappy or whatnot. But after 4 years, maybe I would have achieved something good as well. So it's very hard to say.
Of course,
very hard to say. I just wanted to say that university is not like the only path.
way to get.
Yeah, that's the one I took, but I really thought about it for long, and I wasn't. Yeah, I was pretty okay with the other option as well. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about it. So what about you?
Yeah, so I mean, I obviously I wanted to get into games kind of very early as well. So like as soon as I finished the high school, and kind of my fear was that like right now I'm young and I'm like, of course I'm interested in games, but maybe in the future I won't. So I ended up, instead of going directly into games, I ended up deciding to go computer engineering instead, because it'd be more easy to find a job not related to video games afterwards as well, right? So I was not focusing myself too much into video games. And in the end, well, now I kind of feel like it was maybe a bad idea, because I am still very much into games. But yes, I did my computer science degree, and then I did a master's in games and media technology, which I'm happy with it, but it could have been better. I thought it would be slightly more related to games, and it ended up being... so we were basically learning different technologies and techniques that can be used in games, but they were not focused or directed towards games, which is a bit of my... and then it was a bit too focused on research as well, which, although there is some research in gaming, there's not that much. And so it's still pretty good. I still learned a lot. I still think that maybe I learned skills that I'm not necessarily going to use that much in the game industry, and maybe I have like now skills that are not... I'm having a little bit of trouble to finding a job, and I think part of it is because I don't have much experience, and most of my projects that I've done, like compared to my brother who so you've been doing like bigger projects now. Like
Yeah.
you've had like one to some extent proper project every year.
Yeah. And
The-
I have
the only
one
games,
on Steam,
yeah.
right? That counts a lot.
Especially and having
one on
like one
Steam.
on Steam now is like a big thing.
Yeah.
Which has the mostly positive reviews as well, which is nice.
Well, I
ma-
mean, there's
like-
a few
yeah.
reviews, and I suspect that many of them are from team members and stuff like that.
Of
so
course, yeah. But
I
that
wouldn't
always
trust it
happens
too
anyways,
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't
yeah.
trust it too much, but
Yeah, the big difference is that all the projects that I've done were like personal project that I've done on my own or with one or two friends, like on our free time, which is nothing.
yeah,
And obviously we
people ended
have
up
no
not
access
being
to.
serious enough.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
And you had access to artists while we didn't. So like
Yeah,
obviously the
that's a
quality
big
of our
difference.
games is not at all the same. So my portfolio, I'd say, is a lot weaker, and I think I lack, compared to you, I think I lack a specific video game development knowledge that
Yeah,
I was not taught, simply because that was not the point of my studies. So I'm still happy with it, but I feel like if I would have to redo it, I would probably just go straight away into video games and not kind of go the tour and kind of go around it.
Yeah. My game programming degree was really about that, about games, right?
Yeah.
It's funny because actually the university tells that it's not only for games. You can end up in anything, right? But that's kind of like not true. Of course, like if you are self-driven, you can always like change course and stuff. But
Yeah, and I feel
the degree is really focused on games, and it's a good thing for me, right? Because that's what I wanted to do. But yeah, I feel like they are like not being very, very honest when they tell the parents and stuff that the degree is not only for games.
Yeah, but it is quite
Yeah.
known in the game industry, so usually you would be fine.
Yeah, and I'm
Finding
pretty
a
happy
job
about it. Like
afterwards and
I had the chance to have very good teachers, very passionate teachers, and we were like very few people per class, like maybe 20 people or 30 at most.
Yeah.
So yeah, very different to what I had in the engineering degree. In that one, we were like 200 in a huge.
Yeah, which is like the most
Huge
common,
class.
I think, part of university.
Yeah. And the teacher didn't even know your name, so yeah, it was completely different experience. For sure. But I wanted to bounce back on something you said. You said that already before ending high school, you were already thinking about entering game development.
Yeah.
I think you were thinking a bit more seriously than me at that point, but even me at that point, I was also very interested in that. But I saw it as something that you would do as a hobby. So it didn't seem serious enough to me. But at that point, at that point, we were like,
but it's
gamers,
definitely not.
right?
Yeah, it's definitely not something that is taught. Like we're never been told that it's like, hey, you could actually do this. Like,
yeah,
it's always kind of like a fantasy, and a lot of the things you hear is also that it's very difficult. That the market is. There's a lot of games coming out all the time. That is, a lot of companies go broke. Although we learned about this a bit later, but you do have like a quite pessimistic view on what the gaming industry is and development is.
Yeah. In my case, it was a mix of like all the adults not considering this as a proper job. Therefore, I was like, yeah, they probably are right. I was thinking that everybody was saying, yeah, you should do engineering, something like that, maybe architecture. And the truth is, I wasn't like drawn too much to engineering, but because I had good grades on maths and physics, I thought, well, I enjoy maths, I enjoy physics. Let's do something that has both and that has like a lot of professional possibilities at the end of it. And engineering, like, it's almost impossible not to end up with a job in engineering. So
yeah, that's usually I feel like the typical push that parents and like kids have like pressure behind of like, oh yeah, you need to find something that has good endings.
But it's a good thing, right? I mean, it's not,
of course, it's not necessarily
in the case of video games. Video games is a blooming industry, so it was a bit like untrue that it's not a proper job career, right?
Yeah.
But let's say could have been something else, right? We could have been into theater or whatnot, right? Into some weird artistic stuff. And I feel that sometimes maybe it's better to be realistic and tell your kids, tell them right away, well, if you want to eat properly and have a job, like maybe you have to sacrifice a bit your passion, do something that actually the society needs more, like engineering or something like that. Yeah, in the case of gaming, it is a huge industry. So, but yeah, I would not say. I would say like it's logical for parents to care about their child and to want a good life for them. And if they don't know what the game industry is, and that's also very weird, very new to them.
At least for us, it's still like very new to them. They have no idea.
Yeah. They don't understand. They haven't played anything, right? I mean, my mom has not played anything, and so like when we talk about her, what we do, like it's like
she doesn't understand programming at all, like
at all either. Yeah, for her it's like magic stuff. She doesn't understand.
It's like you write stuff and it does stuff. What?
Yeah,
it's quite funny.
So yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah,
and then also like linking to that, like a bit of our like childhood thing. The games we played. So because like I would say that in our family, gaming was like a badly viewed, right?
I mean, I think still, that is, like it's still kind of badly viewed. Now they accept it, but like
they accept it because they see it's a serious career, right? But,
I mean, and they see that we're into it a lot. So, but yeah, it's always like we've always had these comments. Oh, you're already playing blah blah blah. You're always in the computer, blah blah blah.
Yeah. All our life we had those comments about wasting our time on playing video games and stuff like that. And also even for the TV, right? Because our parents got a TV very late. They didn't like the TV that much.
Yeah, that's true.
So like it shows a bit the mindset they had, right?
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why most of the games we played as childs were free games.
Yeah.
Because as free games, you don't need to ask permission to your parents to get to buy them, right?
Yeah, especially at first we started with because at first obviously we didn't even know we could download certain games that were actually bigger. We would mostly just play Flash games. Yeah,
many hours spent on Flash games.
Yeah,
and I still have fun memories of it.
Yeah. I mean, I have myself put a few games on Congregate, a few small games.
Yeah.
Sadly, you can't upload games anymore. But yeah,
well, apparently some people can.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to check that out. Because if you go to new games, so, like if I try to upload a game, it just says, "Oh, we don't accept games anymore." But then if you go to new games, you still see some games being published like last week or something, and I'm always surprised. I don't understand it.
My theory is that they are updating games, or they had published it like as a trial version that only the developer
maybe
can
not
see.
Public or something.
Yeah, and
that could be
and maybe some smart people, when they announced that they were gonna
they made like a empty project,
a few projects. They made a few empty projects, so they had a margin. I don't know. But yeah, so we played a lot of Flash games, and I mean the good thing with Flash games is it's like a dose of the internet, right? There's anything, right? You can find like you can find like it's good because also in a creative way, right? You find very strange ideas.
Yeah,
most of them maybe don't work, but you can get some inspiration from them, and
definitely
sometimes also some offensive stuff and things like that. But it was kind of fun. And then at some point we convinced our parents to get us a GameCube.
Yeah, took us a while to get the GameCube.
Yeah, it took us a while to convince them, but we did it. And
I remember we had like a point system with our mom that we had to do chores, and every like set amount of chores we would get like points, and when we get to a certain point we would get the.
And maybe like I don't remember. Maybe it was 100 points or 200 points to get the GameCube or something like that. And we did it. I mean, of course, as with all things, like in the end, like she let us have it, right? The points was just like a way for us to
behave
earn
rightly
it
to some extent.
To earn it, but if you wouldn't want to
not let
buy
us
us the console, like she wouldn't have let us. But yeah, and that's the only console we had for a very long time.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that was like the only console. I mean, now we share a Switch, but
yeah.
Other than that, that's basically the only
and we
console
bought it
we've ever
like
had.
2 years ago or 3 years ago, right?
You bought it together.
So since then, we've been like only gaming on PC and then a bit on the GameCube. And on the GameCube, we have very few games.
Yeah, we have good ones. The GameCube has good ones. Still has the best Mario Kart out there.
Yeah, Mario Kart Double Dash. Yeah, for us, is the best one. We've played a lot of hours.
It's 100% the best one. There's like no doubt.
I don't understand why they never.
I don't understand why they never went for that idea again. Especially now, because like I don't know, for those of you who don't know, like the specificity of Double Dash is that you have 2 characters per car, and you can like play co-op on the same car with someone. It has like a few new mechanics.
The co-op,
like,
I have to say that I wasn't too fan of.
But it's still nice. It's still pretty nice.
I mean, it's still something that you can play sometimes for variety, but it's not the main thing you will play. Because
it still gives you the ability, for example, to when you get 2 items, to switch one item instead of being forced to use the first item that you get. And that's something that is not in the new ones. And one of the problems that potentially you could say from the Double Dash is that it didn't have that many characters, and because you're using 2 at a time, you only had up to 8 up to 8 people.
Cards.
Races, right? But like nowadays, with the amount of characters that they have in the Mario Kart 8, like they could easily remake it and have a lot more characters.
Yeah.
And
another thing that was different in Mario Kart Double Dash, I don't know if I like that more or I like the current version more, is that so you had the regular weapons, regular abilities, right? Like the green shell, you had the red shell, you had the banana, and then you had special ones, right? Like the big banana, triple green shell, triple red shell, things like that. And those you will only get if you had the character that is like, let's say,
is that not a thing
associated
anymore?
With that attack? It is not in Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart 8 you can get anything.
Is there no special, really?
I think it doesn't matter what character you have, you can get any.
Oh, okay. So okay.
But yeah, you would have like a huge huge Bowser shell as well, like many different things. And then so there was some strategy when you were selecting your characters on the car. It was not only about the weight and the grip and all of that, but you could.
But also the type.
You had also to think
about the abilities you would get.
Which abilities did you want to play? And in the end, the best one was like the triple red carapace. I think it was one of the best. And the mushroom. I think the combo we always used was that, like one with the golden mushroom and one with the triple red carapace. I think it was red Koopa for the triple red carapace, and one of the shroom childs for the golden golden shroom. Yeah.
It was nice.
But yeah, overall, I don't know if it's better to have access to everything. I don't know. I'm undecided about that. But the game felt really, really good.
Yeah, for sure. Really liked it. The other game we played a lot was Star Wars Battlefront. I mean, not Battlefront. Star Wars Lego Star Wars.
Also Battlefront, but I don't.
Also Battlefront, but that's on PC, not on GameCube.
Yeah. We played Lego Star Wars. We finished it 100% with all the mini kits and everything.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of fun, right?
That was a fun game. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the new one.
Yeah, I don't know if I get it, but definitely looks like fun games. But I think I would get maybe other games. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it also looks like some games that are very fun to work on.
Yeah.
As a gameplay programmer or something like that, or level designer. It looks like very fun to
like even I
I
think I said anything because even as an animator and stuff, because they make it everything quite funny and quite
yeah,
like silly, it seems quite fun to work on.
yep. And probably like the Lego Star Wars version of the last films is
It's
probably
gonna
the
be
best
better
version
than
of
the
those
actual
films.
films, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm actually interested in it. For one, it's just gonna be a compilation of all the games.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be amazing. And they're probably gonna have special like levels for the spin-offs as well, so like Rogue One and so on. Like at least I hope so. Plus like just all the characters, it's just gonna be amazing. And and then just the kind of silly, like fun version of the new movies is gonna be better.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so yeah, now that you touched on it, we also played on PC. So after or like once we kind of convinced, because each time we wanted to buy a game. That's also why we didn't have many games on GameCube. It's because each time we wanted to buy a game, we had to ask permission.
Yeah.
So as you understood, our family was not very eager that we would spend time in games. So it wasn't something we would get often, right? But yeah, one of the games we got and we like played a lot. A lot of it was Star Wars Battlefront 2, right? The LucasArts version. And I mean,
an amazing game.
Yeah, amazing game. It felt so incredible. Like I remember one of the things that I liked the most about that game was the fact that there were a lot of NPC characters like playing in huge battles.
Yeah. Yeah, it
so the
felt
battles
like a
actually
battle,
felt yeah, because we also had Call of Duty, right? We had Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1.
Yeah.
And that one, like, you only played against players, and in the end there weren't so many players and stuff, and the players are also quite, I mean, let's say if you're an average player, you would die once and then kill once, like on average, right? You will get a kill death ratio of 1. But in Star Wars Battlefront, because the AI is a bit dumber than people,
you end up doing
you can
a lot
easily
more.
get and you felt like a hero, right?
Feels
and that's
better,
the point of the movies as well. So it's a very good thing to have. And the Jedi were very, very OP, and I feel that's like as they should be, right? Because they are Jedi.
Yeah.
And the campaign was pretty cool. I remember there was a narrator. It was pretty cool. One of the clones, I believe, he narrated the battles while you would play them a little bit, and it was nice. The maps were pretty nice as well. Although some of the maps were better in the first Star Wars Battlefront. I think Geonosis was better in the first one.
If I recall correctly. Not sure.
We've played because the first one we played on a friend's place.
We didn't own it,
so we didn't play that much, but we still a decent amount because we went at some point. We were going a lot to that place.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember the first one being very unbalanced. Like the droids were so OP. I mean, each like character had a different like power level. So you would have like the shittiest ones would be the
basic,
the regular combat droids. The ones with a small pistol and stuff, like they were really lame. Then you had the clones that were a bit better, and then you would have like the one with like the rocket launcher on the wrist, the droid. That was the god tier of that game.
That one is very good.
Because it was like, let's say instead of having a grenade, so you would have, if I recall correctly, you would have like, so a regular submachine gun on one wrist. Then from the torso, you would fire like kind of like a shotgun shell. And then from the other wrist, you would have
a rocket launcher type thing. Yeah.
Kind of like a rocket launcher, yeah. So compare that to like a clone that would have, the clone was the next best thing, but the clone had like
a assault rifle thing, plus then just a grenade.
Then just a grenade, and the grenade is much crappier than a rocket launcher because the grenade you have to lob it,
Yeah,
and then
throw it as an arc.
it explodes after a time. It doesn't like
Yeah.
explode right when it touches. So it's way
Harder
better
to
to just have a
actually hit,
rocket
yeah.
launcher and just aim at the guy and just make him explode. But the number 2 is the one we played a lot, and we played a lot also. I finished the campaign I think 3 times, and then there was the Galactic Conquest, which was amazing as well.
Yeah, that was an awesome game mode.
Yeah, you would play like on the galaxy, and you would have to fight through each world to conquer it, and then
Yeah, they had
and-
like a little bit of like a economy type thing, where you
Yeah,
had to like
but-
buy new units and stuff and power ups.
Yeah.
that would help you with
Yeah,
other battles.
Yeah, you can have regen for your troops and things like that. You could buy before the fights, and it was pretty nice. And something we did a lot also with that game is play one against the other.
Yeah, play co-op. That was quite
So
fun. And there was a
Not
setting.
even.
Yeah, not
sometimes you
co-op
co-op
as in
and-
to get together, but like against each other. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't co-op. It was PvP,
Yeah.
but like only.
And
Us
there
two,
was a setting to actually remove nameplates on players.
Yeah,
So it was a very funny kind of experience where you had to figure it out who was the player
yeah.
by the way they would play compared to the NPC. So it wasn't that hard, but it was quite funny to then find him, kill him, and it became
Yeah,
like
because
a kind of, like, hunt the game.
Yeah, as we said before, like the NPCs were not very good. So they made for like good army and stuff, but like they weren't hero mode like you were when you played, right?
Yeah.
So you could, even if the other character would not be a Jedi or anything like that, even if my brother would play like a regular clone trooper or something like that, it wouldn't be so hard to find out that the guy was just running through a bunch of enemies and killing everyone. So probably that was my brother.
Yeah.
But sometimes you had surprises, right? That's why it was fun to play without the name tag. So you had to figure out who was the other one. And it wasn't a requirement either. You could just win without doing that, just by playing
Yeah, of course.
and doing the objectives and stuff. So it wasn't like a requirement to just kill your brother, but
But that
always
was
a plus.
fun, yeah. For sure. But yeah, I
we
mean,
played a little of online as well.
yeah, exactly. That's what I
Remember,
was
there were a lot of
going to.
hackers.
Yeah. I really liked playing the Mos Eisley assault thing.
Yeah.
So if you went to the Mos Eisley map with the assault game mode, which assault was supposed to be only for space combat, so that would probably mean that it was like a special game mode. And in that game mode, it was just heroes, and that was very funny. That was very fun. So it's just
you
like
could play as
just
Darth
Jedis
Maul
and like Han Solo and Chewie and so on.
Chewbacca.
Yeah, that was very funny.
Yeah, that game was amazing.
A very good game, yeah.
But
yeah.
sometimes I still play it because like also the music is so good. I mean, it's Star Wars music, right?
Yeah. The game is
Just-
still very good, yeah.
Yeah, it still feels pretty good today. I've also played the EA version, the
Yeah,
Star
the
Wars
newest
Battlefront 2 from EA, and I enjoyed it quite a lot as well. It also has that thing with a lot of NPCs, so that you can kill a bunch of them.
Yeah.
But
It
I
looks
haven't played
very
that
good,
much. I
at
think
least,
I played 1 month or something. It looks amazing. Yeah. I mean, I cannot play it with full graphic settings on my PC.
Yeah.
But I've seen it in other people's PC, and yeah, it looks amazing.
It looks very good.
By a Star Wars game to be enjoyed, like the only thing it has to do is just to use the music from the films, right? That's
would
already
add-
like half the experience.
That already adds so
Already.
much.
Yeah, it's so epic.
Yeah. But yeah, so a lot of other games that we played as well before even getting the GameCube were MMOs, right? Because there was like this time where there was a lot of free MMOs.
Yeah.
And we played a bunch of it. Oh,
Yeah.
well, I think I played more than you as well, because
Yeah, you played more. At some point, you were really into MMOs, and you were like
I
trying
was just
all
like,
of them.
I wasn't even playing any one game seriously. I was just jumping from one to another just to try them out.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I still really enjoy MMOs. I still kind of do that every once in a while.
I don't. I don't. I've had my time, and then now I don't feel like playing MMOs because I know how much of an
they
investment
take a lot
it
of
is.
time. Yeah.
But I do have fond memories of World of Warcraft and Flight.
Yeah. So yeah, Life was the first game that we played.
Yeah, probably.
It's a good game.
The first game we played,
first
MMO, right?
Yeah.
First MMO.
First MMO, yeah. No, I made a whole video
because
on
it was
as
free.
well.
Again,
it was
because it was
free,
free, and we didn't need the permission to buy it.
Yeah, you just had to download it, and then that was it.
Yeah. And yeah, we played with some friends as well. I think
we got introduced
to
by,
it to
by some friends, and then we just played together for a bunch of time.
Yeah. But that one, I mean, you already made a video about it, but it had some very bad aspects and some very good aspects.
I mean, yeah, the worst part of it was that it was very grindy and I had no quests.
Yeah, it was really grindy. But it wasn't at all balanced either.
But it pretty much
I remember like
about the same time as World of Warcraft as well, so it was pretty original for its time.
Yeah. And it was one of the only anime MMOs, I think, at that.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't that many MMOs to begin with.
And then a lot of them have appeared, but I think that was one of the first ones.
It was the first, I think, big MMO. Big anime MMO, potentially.
Yeah, it was nice.
It was
but
good.
One thing I remember is that your first character was cleric. And my first character was a warrior.
I think they were called.
Yeah, Acolyte was called, yeah. And I was a warrior. And I remember that like I would be much stronger than you. On combats, you could do almost nothing, right?
I mean, my character was like a support character.
Yeah. And you tried to play it with a lot of dexterity, I remember, to like...
Yeah.
Have a lot of...
attack speed.
Attack speed, yeah. But still, it wasn't like... compared to me, like it wasn't as strong at all. But the difference was huge, right? It wasn't like a small difference. It was a huge difference.
Yeah, that game was
and then
badly
what happened,
balanced as well.
It was really poorly balanced. But then what happened, and that also shows you how unbalanced it was, is that you created another character. Yeah, and that was a mage, right?
Yeah. I talked about it in the video as well. Yeah, I made a mage, and it was... I only focused all of my points in intelligence, and it did so much damage. It was like crazy.
I remember we would do duels. I had my old character that was like maybe 10 or 15 levels above you.
And I was still
had,
like
the mage.
Managed to win.
I couldn't even reach you. Like
if we started apart,
I would rush to you, but you would like do 3 spells and I was dead, and that was it. Like I could do nothing.
But like, and I talked about it in the video because I got called a hacker because of it. Because I remember even doing a duel with another mage, but then I assumed that other mage, kind of put his point a bit everywhere, not just in intelligence.
Yeah.
But like in one attack, I would manage to just kill him because he was still a mage, so he didn't have much health. And I did.
Yeah, I mean, if you could kill me in 3 attacks with like, I was a warrior, so I was tanky, and you could kill me in 3 attacks, and I had like 10 or 15 levels above you, right? So like another mage would not stand a chance. It would be like a one-shot kill. The first one, if the other mage would have the same build as you,
me, but you had to get.
He could kill you if he had the same build as well.
So I guess I was, of course, potentially, and I guess I was, and the thing about it is that I was pretty good against 1v1.
Yeah.
Which was good for duels, but that was bad for everything else, even for leveling up and just killing mobs. It was a nightmare.
But even for me, I was a warrior, and even for me, it was a nightmare to level up. I remember like doing the same, and you have to understand, it's not like WoW that has a lot of zones with a lot of different monsters, right? In this game, you had one zone, and you would stay there for a long time, and those zones had no quests, and
you had
one type of monster.
You had one monster per every 2 levels or something, and that was the monster you had to kill.
Even less.
No, because like the monster would I mean maybe for every 1 or 2, like 3 levels or something. But yeah.
And the levels were really long to grind, so you would like be farming the same mob over and over again.
Yeah. And because there's no quests,
by waiting for it to respawn.
Yeah, that was the only thing you could do.
And everybody was doing the same thing, so also they would deplete the mob, so you had to wait for them to respawn and stuff.
Yeah.
And And yeah, and something what I want to tell is that I was playing like a warrior or something like that, and I would like just grind those monsters. But after 6 or so, I had to stop and eat a bunch of food to regain my health, because the health regen was really slow.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like with the mage, that was even worse.
Even worse.
One monster that was
mana.
already bad because I had no mana, and if I had no mana, I couldn't do anything. Because obviously you could still do the basic attack, and it was still useful. But for me, the basic attack was nothing.
I think the idea of the game was, even when you are just grinding mobs, you should play in a team with a priest or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially because so can heal the party and stuff.
Yeah, there was like very strong buffs from the acolyte.
Yeah,
and that was very useful. So playing without an acolyte or having without the buffs would change so much.
But not many people played acolyte, right?
You had a few. I usually could go to town and just ask for people to buff you.
Yeah.
And usually that would be fine.
Yeah. I mean, we could speak 4 hours about that game because we have a lot of memories.
Yeah,
and you've already touched a lot of them on your video, so no use.
Yeah. So check the video.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, I guess let's talk about the games that we play now.
Yeah. So, I mean, Trackmania or the ones we are playing currently, like?
I mean, that's right now, yes. It is quite fun.
Yeah.
I tried to play like the season maps, but I don't play a lot more either. Like we played...
That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. We played a little bit of the Battle Royale now for a video.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've played like 1.5 in total or something like that right now. So not much, but yeah, I'm enjoying it.
I think. But I don't think I reached the 10 hours though.
No? Even though you've played like 2 seasons or something?
Yeah, but you just rush through the levels. Maybe I have, but not a lot more though. Maybe I have maybe 12, maybe 13, I don't know. Maybe about that, yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's free, so definitely check it out if you want.
Yeah, definitely. It's a fun game. So other than that, what have you been playing?
So I've been playing Fallout 76. Probably many of you are laughing. But yeah, so what happened is that once I finished university, a friend of mine was playing Fallout 76 with other friends, and he just bought the game for me so that I would join them. And yeah, I mean, I have fun with them, but mostly because I'm playing with friends, right? As I understand, the game has improved a lot. Probably you have heard, right, all the problems it had at launch.
Yeah.
It was full of bugs and stuff. I never played it at launch, so I don't know.
I have heard that
it's better now.
Yeah.
But still, like, I rage quitted like 4 times already. Like Alt F4 in the middle of a play, because like quests would sometimes just block. So apparently I've read about it on the forums and stuff, but apparently if you lag a little bit and while doing some quests, you cannot pass them, and the only way of like do them is to change server so the quest would start again.
Yeah.
If you change server, like apparently you do not retain the progress of your current quest, so you have to.
And they recommend playing in a solo session as well, right?
Like yeah, but the problem is the game you have to pay. I don't know how many my friend paid to get me the game. Maybe like
I think it's pretty cheap now.
It wasn't
I think the game is pretty cheap.
And then you have things you can buy. You have like premium stuff in the game. So like for example, if you want to play by yourself or only with friends, not on a public server, you have to have that premium stuff. I don't know if it's called premium or something else, but you get the point.
Is it a subscription, or is it like coins and then you spend the coins?
Actually, I've got no clue. I saw that you have to pay, and I just didn't feel like it, and I was like lame, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
I didn't look more into that, but
yeah.
So yeah, it's a bit. So I mean, it's also my first Fallout. I've never played Fallout before.
Yeah, which is a bit of a pity if you start with that one, but whatever.
Yeah, but I really enjoy the ambience and the setting, so I'm definitely gonna check out the Fallout games now.
Yeah.
Because I was talking to you and telling you that I enjoy that, and you were saying, well, but in the solo games it's way better.
Yeah.
And I believe that. So
Of course,
I probably have to check the other Fallouts as well.
Yeah. For sure.
But yeah, still the quest. I mean, they've made an effort. All the characters are voice
But that's
stuff.
one of the things that actually has been improved a lot. Because I think at the beginning the quests were not even that interesting either. There was
and there was no voice acting. I believe, right?
Yeah.
It was only video stuff and
acting,
logs stuff. But now there's like a lot of voice acting. Like some characters are very well written, very entertaining. There's one robot that is like kind of like a raider leader or something like that, and she's called Rose, and she's very funny. And she sometimes wants to kill you, and sometimes she helps you and stuff. But yeah, she's funny. So definitely there are some nice things about that game. It's not all bad, but
yeah, for sure.
I mean, you have to decide if it's worth for you at the price it is currently.
I feel like if you like the additions that multiplayer gives it, then that would be fine.
I have to say the community is very nice. Like people have like
a few that stuck around.
When they see a low-level character, they would just like go to you, say hi, with emotes and stuff. There's also like in-game voice chat, but nobody uses it as far as I know.
Yeah. Funny thing is, it was forced at the beginning.
Yeah. Also, I mean, I play in the European server, right? And the thing is, in Europe there are many languages, so I believe it's easier to communicate with emotes. Maybe if you play in a US server, everybody speaks English, so it's maybe people are more using the voice chat.
Yeah.
But yeah, here people use the emotes a lot. So people would come to you, do an emote of hello, then you would respond hello, and then they would make the emote of a gift, and then they would like drop you a lot of ammunition, or maybe steam packs, or maybe even legendary weapons. I actually got a lot of legendary stuff from people just that walked by and just dropped something, right? Yeah, that's amazing. And actually one of those was a really expensive weapon, and I didn't know at that time, and I just sold it at a shopkeeper. But I could have sold it for like over 1,000 caps easily.
Yeah.
Because one thing you have to understand, one thing that is pretty amazing in that game, I think, is how trade between players work.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of having an auction house or something like that, like you would see in World of Warcraft or other games, here what you have is like you have your base, right? You have your housing, you can create your house, and in your house there is one workshop, let's say, that you can construct, that is the like vending machine. And on the vending machine you just put your items and you put the price you want people to pay for them, right?
Yep.
So what happens is that people that want to buy stuff, they will just visit your place.
They have to like actually visit the place. I think that's nice.
Exactly. Yeah, you cannot access the items unless you are there at the vending machine, right? You have to activate the vending machine, and actually only one person can activate the vending machine at the same time. So if there's two people that want to buy stuff, one has to wait for the other. That's why many people put more than one. Yeah, that's not necessarily a good thing, but people just end up putting more than one vending machine at their base, and that's it.
I feel like just the good thing of it is the fact that you have to visit houses, you have to go to places if you actually want to.
So that's pretty nice, like, because people would see like what other people have built, and sometimes you see that people really put a lot of effort into the housing, and they have really nice houses. Others just do like lazy stuff, but overall it's nice. It's a nice idea. And I spend a lot of time just traveling and seeing the other people's houses, and sometimes I'm amazed at what they do. And I've tried to make also a nice house. The problem with that is that the housing...
It's a mess, isn't it?
It's kind of a mess, yeah. So what I feel that has happened is that they had like
it's already a bit of a mess in Fallout 4.
Yeah, okay, I don't know about that.
From what you've been telling me, it's apparently even worse in
yeah, the feeling I got from Fallout 76 is that they have a system, right, that works, a building system, but they want it to be foolproof so that nobody can make like on-lore friendly stuff and like I don't know, like houses floating in the sky, things like that. So they've added a bunch of rules
I've watched some
above
restrictions,
the
yeah.
already existing rules, like a lot of restrictions to try to avoid that. But the problem is that it kind of collides, right? So there are things that you feel like you should be able to do, and then you can't. And then if you want to try to find a workaround, then you probably have to deconstruct the whole base again and try another thing. And yeah, it's like very painful, very, very painful to build.
Yeah, it takes
and
more
for
time
example, yeah,
to figure out how
only
to manage to
squares.
do it than to actually like properly do it.
Yeah. I've actually watched tutorials and stuff to be able to do what I've done in my house, because I couldn't do it anywhere else, in any other way, and had to use like bug exploits and stuff. And my house is not like a crazy thing, you know. It's just like a
it
house,
wasn't
like
trying to do something too crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a bit of a pity. Yeah, it's really frustrating to try to build something.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah.
overall, do you recommend the game?
I think like if you've got friends like me and you get it for cheap and you want to spend like a decent amount of hours, I don't know, like 30, 50 hours with friends, just
Still
having
decent,
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good, right? I mean,
I played it on a weekend that it was free on Steam.
yeah,
And it was still fun. I still enjoyed it. I don't think I'm gonna play it more, but the time I played it, at least it was alright.
yeah, it's alright. I mean, you can really get frustrated by some bugs and stuff, so that's definitely not a good thing. But overall, I think you can really have fun with it.
Yep. Alright.
And you?
Well,
What are you
I've
playing
been
right now?
playing 2 games. So I've been playing and recording Solasta, Crown of the Magister,
Yeah.
which is a RPG with the license of D&D.
For the rules, right?
With the rules, the 5th edition rules, D&D license, and it is it's in a new world, but they follow perfectly the rules and so on, and they show you the dice rolls and so on, and it is pretty fun. I haven't played that much. I've recorded a few videos, and yeah, I've enjoyed it. I'm enjoying it. It's quite nice. I spent a lot of time making the characters, and yeah, it's quite fun. Should still play a lot more of it to give a proper idea, but
Yeah, it's kind of a slow game, right?
it is just quite a slow game. Yeah, combat take a while, and I mean for now as well, because it's the beginning. I've had a lot of cinematics
And tutorials
and tutorials and so on, so it's been a bit slow, but yeah. Because of every combat, you have not just the way that D&D works is you have a hit roll. So first you roll if you're gonna hit the enemy, and then you roll how much damage you do, etc. So it does like slow down the gameplay a little bit, but it is fun. Yeah. It is quite fun.
Yeah, that's something that, I mean, something we also should tell is that we've both played a little bit of pen and paper RPGs.
A little bit, yeah. I've played, I don't know, like 4 times maybe. Each of them were like one shots. I've never played into like a proper campaign.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah, I've enjoyed it.
Like, I've played a little bit more. I've played. I was actually in a club in my other university, in my engineering university. I was in an RPG club, and we would like every week there was like a meeting, and you would play games, mostly one shot. So like people would go with their own like scenario for a one shot, and then you would write the name of the one shot on a blackboard, and you would write the name on the one that you would like to play with, right?
Yeah.
And I wasn't going every single week, but I was going from time to time, right? So I think I've done maybe in total like 15, maybe 18 different one shots that way. And in some of them, I was the game master as well, because I enjoy a lot writing.
Yeah. I mean,
you
you were the game master for one of the games that played, well, for even maybe twice.
Yeah, I think
that
twice.
We played with some friends here. Yeah.
Yeah, but there was the one with the zombie carrots.
Yeah.
And the one.
With the one with the investigation. That was fun.
Yeah.
That one.
That one was one of the best ones I've made, I think.
Yeah.
Which both of them could be made into a campaign afterwards, but like in the end we never do it. And
Yeah.
when I'm game master, I take a long time to prepare. Like
I mean, yeah,
I take
game master is a hard job.
As I've been a game master a few times already, a few times I've recorded how much time I've spent preparing just to see.
Yeah.
And like I think I've done it twice, and both times for a 4-hour play, I spent 8 hours preparing. Right.
Yeah.
So that gives you an idea of
yeah.
the investment. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. And yeah, so I was just mentioning this because one thing that when I have been game master, every time has been with custom rules, right? I've never played. I mean, I have played with D&D in Roll20 and with friends, but when I am the game master, I always do custom rules, which might explain also why I take so much time to prepare, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you have to think about the rules as well, yeah. I mean, one of the good things about 5th edition, which is why it's the most used, I think, version of it, is because it's very simplified.
Yeah.
So it also removes a bunch of stuff from it, which is probably why they used it as well in the game.
But if you remember when I was game master, I also tried to simplify the rules a lot because in my opinion,
make combats
the most important part. Yeah, the most important part is not to get stuck on a combat like 2 hours, right? Yeah. Most important part is to be able to play as your character
and so on. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, like pen and paper RPG is a mix of like a board game and theater.
Yeah.
Right? I
mean, it is role
actual
play,
theater play.
Yeah.
Yeah, like improvisation theater, and I really like to play it that way.
Yeah.
And I tend to try to instigate also that the players describe their actions in detail instead of just saying I attack, I backstab, I that. Like I maybe say I will move towards the left and then grab his wrist with my right hand, and with my left hand I would punch him in the nose and stuff like that. And so if you give a good description of what you're doing and it makes sense in the setting, probably I would give you a small bonus and stuff like that. So as you see, the rules are not very strict. It's more about having fun and like being able to tell a story with each one enjoying playing his character, right?
Yeah. So actually, this game, like Solasta, has a dungeon editor, so you can actually technically create your own stories in it.
That's nice.
So I'm looking forward to see what other people do. Quite
probably there's gonna be
I don't know how much. No, probably not much yet. But yeah, I don't know how deep the system is. I haven't checked it out. I should at some point. But yeah, it's quite an interesting thing of the game. I don't expect the campaign to be too long either. It is quite small studio. It's a small French studio. So yeah, I mean, you can see like in the quality of the game. If you check it out, you can see that the animations of the characters and so on are not that good, especially in the cinematics. But it's still fine. And yeah, so you can still seems pretty good game for now, for sure. And then the other game I've been playing is I've started playing Torchlight 3.
Okay.
And I don't know if you played any of the Torchlight games.
No.
So Torchlight is basically a type of Diablo-like game, I guess, which is like a top-down hack and slash with item gathering, I guess, loot-based game.
Yeah.
And the 3 is the first one where they wanted. So at first it was going to be built a bit more like an MMO, and then apparently the fans didn't like it, so they went back on it. But it still has a few multiplayer stuff in it, and it has housing and so on. Yeah, I mean, I haven't played too much of it, but for now it seems quite fun. And I guess we'll see. But yeah.
Okay.
Other than that, I haven't been playing too much of one thing. I tried a few VR demos from the Summer Fest of Steam Summer Fest, and yeah, that's about it.
We've played a little bit of Mario Kart together.
Yeah, I mean, now that we're like together here, then for sure played a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, and the Mario Kart 8 in the Switch.
In the Switch, yeah.
Yeah, and what are the games that you would like to play next?
Next.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I mean, I'm actually looking forward to play. So I got myself the Xbox Game Pass with like the like higher tier Xbox Game Pass. I don't know how it's called.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like in a promo for €1 or for 3 months, and it comes with EA Play, which is basically the same thing for EA games, and it has Star Wars Squadron in it, which is like the like fighter, like space fighting, space dogfight game that they made, and that game also has VR in it.
Okay.
So I'm actually quite interested in trying it out.
Nice. I mean, if you install it, tell me, and I will check it out with your VR glasses as well.
It weighs
because
quite
I
a lot.
don't own a
so
VR set, so.
But yeah. So what about you?
I'm unsure. Problem I have right now is that my PC is not very good. So, Fallout 76, I'm playing it with the lowest graphics. I mean, once I remember that you went by my PC and you looked at the graphics and you made a comment how can you play it like that or something? Because it's really like the textures are so low resolution that sometimes you cannot read what posters are saying. It's very crappy, but that's the only way I can play because I'm playing with a laptop and it overheats really quickly. So like if I would play with like better graphics, after like 1 hour it would just crash.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but yeah, I mean, as you know, I'm a lot into Dwarf Fortress.
Yeah.
So it's a game that I come to from time to time and probably will in the near future.
I mean, I'll definitely check it out once it releases on Steam.
Yeah, once it releases on Steam, I'm gonna buy it right away because that's my way as well to give back to the developers. Because for now, so if you don't know, Dwarf Fortress is a crazy ass game. Not very known. It's in ASCII, right?
Known. I feel like a lot of people know it, but have not played it because of its
complexity. The gamers, the like hardcore gamers, PC people, kind of have know about it. But I've met a lot of people that game a lot, maybe on consoles, that have no idea that this exists, right?
Yeah.
So it really depends. That's why I mean I would say in the developer gaming community, it's known, but like an odd thing that some people know the name of, but they actually don't know what it is.
I mean, they know it for its crazy procedural generation.
Yeah, everything's procedurally generated. But when I say everything, is like you play in a fantasy setting, right? And the world, the lore is procedurally generating, the history, right? So when you start a world, let's say like in Minecraft, you have to create your world first.
Yeah, it just creates the map itself.
It creates also the history. Apart from the world, it creates the history. And you can select how many years of history you want, and it creates thousands and thousands of historical characters, battles, mythological creatures and stuff like that. And then you can encounter them like organically in the game when it's just amazing.
Yeah.
And the game is you can play it as a like city builder game, or as an RPG where you play a character and you have to level up and build a team and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I've mostly played it as a city builder, and I have fun with it. But yeah, what I wanted to say is that the worst thing it has, the graphics by default are ASCII, so they're pretty painful. But you have tile sets. And you've got like different mods that help you play the game. But then I think the most horrible part right now is the UI. User interface. Yeah, how the buttons and commands work, because you cannot use the
there is no
mouse by default. you've got add-ons to use the mouse, but even then, like the controls are very sloppy, very bad. And I think like the Steam version will bring better graphics.
Yeah.
With still very simple graphics, right? 2D stuff, view from the top.
Of course, still gonna be. But it's gonna have layers.
But it's gonna have.
Yeah,
it's gonna have a few animations, which was a surprise for me because none of the tile sets have that.
Yeah.
For example, the water would move a little bit, the lava would move a little bit, and I mean, very simple thing. You would not see like characters animated. I don't expect that to be the case. But and the UI would be reworked, and that makes such a huge difference. Now you gotta have like a really pretty UI with
usable.
Actually,
UI.
controls that make sense. So but the game is free for now. It has been free for a long time, and you have to get it from the website of the developers. But and you can support them by making a small donation. And I haven't done that, so that's why I really want to get it once.
I mean, you were thinking. I remember you were thinking about doing it, and then they mentioned they were going to do a Steam release. So you kind of said, "Oh, then I'll just wait for the Steam and buy it there."
Yeah, but it's a game that has so much into it. Like it's so much details. That
so many crazy stuff can happen.
Yeah, let's say like the fortress mode, the mode of the city builder. It's a mix between a city builder and a Sims, but you've got like 1,000 times more details in everything. Like the dwarves will create an engraving on a wall, and you can actually click on the engraving, and you get a description, and the engraving relates to a historical thing that has happened, or maybe that's something that has happened to another dwarf in your same fortress and something like that. And you haven't decided that. That's all procedurally generated. The dwarves have their own feelings. They have their own things they like. They remember things, so they might make a statue about something they remember. The complexity, the amount of detail in that game is incredible.
Yeah.
So
well, I think we're gonna wrap up.
Okay.
So that was it. Hopefully you learned a bit more about us.
Yeah.
And
so next time we're not complete strangers, right? When we have.
Yeah, at least our background.
And we could still talk a lot about things like that because.
Of course, I mean we've played so many games over the years and so on, and so many. Of course.
So many good experiences.
So well, I guess that was it. Thanks for listening, and come back next time.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
I'm gonna tell you a little story about a boy named Joe. He'll sink his teeth into your shoulder